Hello, my name is Christy Powell. I'm a gender and sexuality therapist here in Austin with Valence Counseling, and I help to host Secular Sexuality for the Atheist Experience Network, Thursdays at 7 Central. When I was a kid, my dad used to point out Darwin fish car decals as a preamble to a lecture on the evils of the world, which, to his mind, mostly boiled down to the Clintons' use of the United Nations to establish a new world order because of something child pornography. Conspiracy theories aside, he was strangely fascinated with the question of why atheists bother to announce their sins to the world, to hold rallies, to organize. What could they possibly have to offer the world? What would they even get together to talk about? After atheists are done rubbing their hands together and plotting the assault on Christmas, what was there to discuss and fellowship about? Did they really need to just sit around and consider how there still isn't a God? Even after my skepticism, my education in psychology, my love of queer films shook me loose from his line of thinking, I honestly wondered the same thing. Why do atheists form clubs and communities? Why not join a political movement or donate your 1%, your 10% to some sort of charity? For 25 years of Christianity, I've been taught that religion was the enemy, that rules and creeds, rituals and command chains were all part of a ploy to distract us from a relationship with God. Atheism, just like Islam, Buddhism, Catholicism, and even most Christians, was seen as just another religion, another way of corrupting our innate desire for a connection to perfect love. Plenty of more eloquent, better informed speakers can debunk the idea of atheism as another world religion, but I always come back to those two ideas of organizing and connecting. Aside from our war on Christmas and our inexplicable love of Monty Python, what do atheists actually have in common? Why should we be activists together? For all the many reasons that people are naming, you should know that LGBT youth are 5 times more likely to attempt suicide. 40% of all trans adults report having made a suicide attempt. Queer Americans have nearly double the average unemployment rate and twice the food insecurity that the rest of America faces. In countries all around the world, people still face a lack of marriage access, can be kept from work, from being out, from organizing, from being safe. Every day in my counseling office, I work with people who are in the minority because of who they love, how they dress or present to the world. And in every one of those conversations, I hear about people being hurt because of some unquestioned and unchallenged idea of right and wrong, of good and evil. When we come together as a community of atheists, we put pressure on our world to make decisions, to make policies based not on our guts or our spirit or our divine instructions, but based on our understanding. We challenge the world to ask itself, why and how do you know? To do away with careless assumptions and magical thinking. When atheists join their voices together, we remind the world that they aren't going to get to someday stand in front of some home team deity to justify their actions. They're standing in front of their fellow man now. Each of us is responsible not to God or to some imaginary idea of right and wrong or to some magical book, but to each other. When atheists can organize, we can remind the world that judgment isn't some far-off day of reckoning, that we are, all of us, being held accountable for the way we treat our children, our poor, our vulnerable, our fellow humans. And when we organize into a community, we can find connection. We can actually create a piece of that divinity that our species has sacrificed so much for in the name of God by finding love and intimacy and connection right here with one another. Even at a time when we feel most isolated, we can pull together and find closeness and purpose without lying to ourselves or to one another. Thank you for being a part of this community and for helping us to act towards a better world.